Okay, meanwhile, other people are joining. I would like to request you, maybe from you, Ilayaraja, if you can introduce about yourself, just a short introduction. Okay, how much experience you have, okay, and about your maybe career, if you wanted to have some words, and then probably you can just, talk about what you learn about the Python.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so myself, Ilayaraja, I do have 14 years of experience in networking. So at the moment, yeah, so I'm in UK working for TCS. Yeah, that's what about me.
Okay, and what about Python? Have you ever
Uh,
worked on Python?
no, I don't have much experience on scripting or scripting language, but so even myself, Rao and Prabha, so we both working for TCS and for the same client. So around 10 plus years of experience we do have in FIs, okay? So yeah, FI operations, implementations, designs and all. So now
F5, you worked on which modules?
module in the sense the appliance model you're asking about?
No, like LTM, GTM, ACM, APM.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. So LTM, GTM, and ASM, okay, and APM. Yeah. So in all these, so we have experience actually.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I could see that
Yeah,
someone else
yeah.
joined by your name. Is it you only?
Yeah, I'm joining from laptop. Actually, I joined from mobile. It shows my wife's profile picture. Okay, so in between, I'm joining from laptop. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We both so yeah, around the we both three having around the same number of years experience, more or less,
Great.
and yeah, all from network and network security background.
Great. So security, what field you aware of security?
We do have experience on checkpoint. More of our experience is with checkpoint, and then we work on ASA and FortiGate. So far we didn't get opportunity to work on Palo Alto. So except Palo Alto, we do have experience on more of popular security products. And
Right. Okay, got you. Thank you. So, from which country you are currently? India only or somewhere?
UK. So we are in UK. Yeah. So
UK
myself, Rao and Prabha, we both three, we are friends actually. We are in UK.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So maybe Motiala Rao.
Hi, yeah, I'm Mutiala Rao. I have 14 years of experience. I'm working in TCS. Start from like 2008. Now we were deputed to UK for the due to the client project. So almost from last 4 years, I'm in UK. Yeah,
Great.
and I don't have any experience on this automation and scripting. So yeah, we are just looking to hear better on automation. As we know, we already have the networking skills, but only we are lack of automation skills. So we want to gain that to do any further kind of requirements from my client. So that would really help us to move forward in future.
True. Thank you, Mutiala.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, maybe we have Prabhakaran also. So Prabhakaran is.
Hi, I'm Prabhakaran. I have 13 years experience in the networking environment. I think all the information already shared by Rao and Ilya. Same thing. Actually, very new to the scripting. Actually, I did the Solaris and Perl scripting in 2010. But after that, I didn't tried any scripting scripts and all. So I forget completely now. I need to start from the fresh now.
Okay. Just FYI, Shashank and Narcis both are from my CCIE batch. Okay. But I would like to ask from you also, Shashank, any knowledge in Python?
Yeah, hello everyone. Myself, Shashank, here, and with respect to the having a relevant skill set in the network background, I'm here to learn about the automation skill set just to enhance my skills on scripting and some scripting and automation. And with Python, I have some basic knowledge of how the libraries work, and in my college degree, we used to have object-oriented programming languages like C++, and all. So with the baseline knowledge of that, I'm here to learn more on Python.
Great, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Narcis, would you like to introduce about yourself, about the Python also?
As for me, I don't have any knowledge on the Python. I don't have any knowledge. Python.
Okay. Okay. Not an issue. Thank you, Narcis. Okay, great, guys. So thank you all again for joining in. Okay, and it's nice to meet you all. Maybe not physically, but over here on the Zoom. It's really nice when I, came to know about you people, about the very rich experience you have. Myself is Radhe Verma. Okay, Radhe Verma. I am also a professional, corporate professional, and side by side, it's my hobby to teach. Okay, so I used to teach different technologies, including your F5. Like you guys are from the F5 side, LTM, GTM, ASM, bit like that. Okay, then CCIE enterprise, and then maybe including SD-WAN, bit again the part of CCIE, and some of the part of your Python. Okay. So I hope, is this sufficient or do you want me to explain more? Okay. So let us start with Python. Okay. I just wanted to know from you, probably, Shashank, because the rest people are very new to the Python. So any guess like when Python came into the market?
In the market, some 5-6 years.
True. So
Yeah.
everyone has the understanding that it came in the market recently, but let me tell you, it came in the market in 1989, way before Java came to the market in 1995. So this is a very old language, right? It's not a very new language. Earlier also it was into the usage, but with the enhancement of your AI, machine learning, or maybe a lot of other things, scientist was in the I will say, they were thinking about such language which is easy to understand and they can work upon, and Python was the very good choice for that. And with the enhancement of these kind of things, Python become popular more and more. So I could say that Python or Python, whatever, howsoever you want to pronunciate it, okay, Python is a beginner language. So it is a beginner. And when I am saying beginner, why I want to more focus over here? Because generally networking people don't like language. Okay, and that is the reason they don't go into the coding part. They come to the networking. Mostly more and more people come into the networking, security, F5, whatever domain we will say, because they don't used to have coding part into the picture, and they don't want to go over that side, and that is the reason they choose networking over the coding, right? But here, when again Python is coming into the networking domain, some people used to get very, panic that, okay, how we will be able to learn the language. Yeah. So I am just telling you the foundation of the Python, that when we are talking about Python, okay, the scripting language, programming language, maybe different language, markup language. There are a lot of language that occurs into the market. But when I am talking about Python, Python is such a thing which is for your beginners, and it is very easy to understand one thing. And I would like to tell you, when you go from this course, okay, so throughout the course, you will feel like that, yes, it is, not so hard. It is very easy to understand if you will be stick with the plan, if you will be stick with the practice along with me, because first few classes, you will feel like that, oh, it's a very easy thing. No need to revise. But later on, when we would be running towards the advanced, codes, and if you don't have the practice, you would not be able to catch the advanced codes then. So my personal advice to all of you, whenever we are going through the classes, either it is easier one, either it is harder one, please try to practice along with me. Okay, you would be having 5 days for practicing. Maybe spare some time, half an hour, to just give about just give the refreshment about the curriculum what we concluded into the weekends. Okay. So I was saying Python is a great language for the beginner level programmers or maybe networkers also, and it support a wide range of applications, even simply from your, what I will say, text processing. Let us say from the text processing to the dub development, okay, to the games, some advanced games. It support everything. And that is the reason it is one of the fastest growing language. And when I am saying fastest growing language, in terms of what? In terms of the number of developers who are using it, number of developers who are using it. In terms of number of libraries. So to go into the libraries, I would like to tell you that this is purely open source. And since it is open source, anybody can work on it, anybody can give their value, or they can add some kind of value into their like Python libraries are something, some codes maybe you can understand as a basic level. These are some kind of codes which we can import into our own code. Just need not to reinvent the wheel again and again. If there is something already existing, you can just use those codes, those libraries from the internet, free to use, open source, as I told you. Okay, and you can just inherit those codes. And let me tell you, it is very important. If you will talk about some of the language like C, in the C, if you need to write down some kind of code, maybe if you want to do the telnet on over the device and you want to run the program through the C, you need to write down this telnet program again. If you are writing down 5 programs, you need to write down the same line of codes in the 5 programs. But in Python, very easy. You need to import it from the internet, ready to use, already created, for telnet, for SSH, for API calls, for REST API calls, okay, whatever, already there. You need to just import it and use for your purpose. And that is the reason why I was telling you, very easy to understand. Reason being, the harder core level, you need not to write down. Already there, You just need to pick up and you need to use for your programs. So far, any question, guys? I hope no. Okay.
No.
Then I was telling that it is fastest growing language. Number of developers are using, number of libraries are using, and I will say even the big giants, very, very big giants. Okay. Even Google is using it from the starting, from very starting, not the main language, but the support language also. If you will talk about Google, if you will talk about YouTube, if you will talk about Dropbox, if you will talk about NASA, every one of them are using Python somewhere. Okay. Not again, I am telling the complete main language, but it is used as a support language in multiple of the big giants companies. So if we will talk about some of the website which is totally written into the Python is Reddit. You can search it over the Google. Okay, Reddit. So I hope it is Reddit like that. So this particular website is nothing but it is a news channel in USA. So having a very great user database and such a huge database, if it is handling, you can see the power of the Python. But again, we need not to go to that level. Okay, we just need to understand how I can use Python for my networking field, for my security field, for my FI field, and how I can use the Python for my field only. I don't want to go, over here and there and wanted to do a lot of things for the web development or something like that. Okay, give me a minute. I can see Manu. Please introduce about yourself. Otherwise, I need to get out from this class. Hello. This is the some history of the Python. I was talking about the Python, like what is the Python and how it is getting used. Now let me talk more about Python. Okay, today I will be just taking the very simple concepts about the Python. I would not be touching any of the general topic. It's not a first class, I will say. It's a very basic class 0. I am just giving you the introduction about the Python, what the Python is, why we should go with the Python. That is all the things I would like to bring you in. Okay, so that you people should be aware that okay, what the Python is, what is the history of Python, bit like that. So I was talking about Python, and in the Python I was saying that okay, it came in 1990s, probably we can say, right? In 1990s. Then how the name was invented and who invented this? Anybody who invented this? There is a guy named as Guido van Rossum. Okay, he invented this, and he is a Dutch programmer, if I'm not wrong, invented in Netherlands. And the name was given by a program he was used to see a program, right? The program was Monty Python Flying Circus. So nothing, maybe I will say a very big story after that. Just he picked this name from that serial. Okay, and that is the reason it is known as Python. Again, Python has many types. There are a lot of types on the Python, even because it is open source. As I told you, people are modifying as per their usage, and they are changing the Python in a lot of fashions as per their usage. But again, we will not be gonna go into that particular discussion. Okay, what are the different types of Python, because we will be using just simple Python. But just for your information, I can say that if Python is merged with C, it is known as C Python. C Python. If it is merged with Java, it is known as Java Python, J Python. Okay, if it is applied on the bare metal, it is known as Micro Python. If it is used with maybe C#, that is known as Iron Python. Okay, and if it is attached with the Ruby Python, something known as PY. So there are lot of things in the Python also, if you will dig further about the Python. But again, we need not to go into that discussion. Okay, it's perfectly fine. So whatever we will be doing, that is totally focused with respect to the networking only, nothing related to deeper more regarding to the web development or the game development or maybe the scientific things. We will not be going to use that. Okay. Then, as I told you, someone else is joining. Hey, hello, Heen Sibo. Would you like to please introduce about yourself? Hello, are you able to hear us? Maybe wait for some time. So as I told you, it was discovered in 90s, named by the Monty, okay, Python Flying Circus. Then it is open source, which is very, very important. You need not to pay anything when you need to use, Python. Please introduce yourself. And it is used by even Google, even by NASA, even by different IBM, whatever name you take, it is used over there, and increasing the popularity, lot of popularity nowadays. And if you want to learn about the Python, currently over the internet also there are a lot of different documents available from where you can learn. So Python is a much easier language. Again, I will focus over here. Then I will say Python is general purpose language. What does that mean? It means in general purpose, it can be implemented in different areas like machine learning. You can use there like GUI kind of thing, maybe I will say developments or web development, whatever you name you wanted to give. You can use in artificial intelligence. You can use in software developments. You can use in other lot of areas when it comes to the Python. But again, as a network administrator, as an FI administrator, as a Cisco administrator or the security administrator, we will focus on to those areas which is required for network or security or maybe FI devices manageability. Okay, we need to put the automation into only those domains. So we will learn about Python for sure, but not whole of the topics of the Python. Even we cannot touch whole of the traffic. We will touch it from the level 0. From very level 0, I will talk about what are the variables. I will talk about what are the loops. I will talk about what into the loops, how many types of the loops are there, what kind of the continue statement is there, what kind of break statement is there. And all of these things, when we are learning, we will not forget that all of these things we are learning with respect to the automation, to bring out the automation into my networking device, into my FI device, or into my security device only, nothing else. I will learn all of these fundamentals. I will learn about all of this syntax. I would be learning about all of the concepts about the Python, but only related to my networking field, nothing else. Okay. It's not the class of the Python for the general purpose. It's the class for the Python for the networking. So just because you people are not aware about the Python, I am just providing you the very basic. Python has some versions. Earlier version was 1.0, okay, maybe 1.x I will say, then 2.x. Now the currently version is 3.x. And if we will talk about the versions, these versions are not interoperable with each other. Okay. So these versions are not interoperable with each other. If you are writing down a code into 1.x, probably that is obsolete one. Again, we cannot, we will not gonna use this. We will not gonna use this. Even it will be gonna go obsolete in some of the time. We will be talking about the newer version, version 3. So when we need to go for the Python, we will be using version 3. Okay. Again, very basic things, I am aware, but since you people are very new, so I need to talk about the basic fundamentals today. I am not taking it as a first class. I am taking it as a maybe introduction class. Okay. Introduction about the Python. Then Python is platform independent. I would say you can just install it on the Windows also. You can install it on the Linux, Unix, whatever you say. Okay, I'm just taking the Linux stuff, but you can use it as any of the maybe distro of the Unix. Okay, just I am saying the Linux, sticking on the Linux. So either you can install on the Windows, either you can install on the Linux. But if you will see the lab which we are providing to you guys, into this lab, you guys able to see that I have provided you both of the, both of the taste you can use. I have the Linux server also. I have the Windows server also. Although all of the experiment I will be showing you over the Windows only, but whatever program you are writing on the Windows, you can run it on the Linux as well. Again, how this lab will work, what are the different components of this lab, probably we will be come to that later on. And there is a one workbook also, that how to make this lab up. So that workbook talking about the routing, or maybe I will say the connectivity part. So once this connectivity part is done, this is into some another VLAN, this is into some another VLAN, there is some kind of NAT which is used, this is your connectivity switch, these are your another VLAN for your management VLAN for the Linux server and for the Windows server. What we will be going to do throughout our class, we need to push the programs from this management PC. First thing, the first requirement, first prerequisite is your reachability. If your reachability is not through, you cannot go ahead and make any of the tests. So if your reachability is through, what you would be going to do is you would be writing the script onto this PC. And again, this lab is real time. You will be also getting it cloud based. It is okay. Probably don't confuse with the IP. I am local to the server. I can go ahead and use this. But how you guys will be using through the internet. So if you will click over here, okay, let me show you. The Windows PC is getting on. Let me scale to the window. Just for your information, I am starting it on, okay, so that you guys have the feel that, okay, how we can perform these kind of things. So this is your lab PC, which is booting up. Okay, you can see lab PC. From here, we need to install, Python. Over here, we need to install Python. Probably there should be already Python installed. But if not, maybe I am telling you from the scratch how you can install it. Don't worry. Okay, that is that is my duty. to tell you guys how to install. Similarly, Linux server, if you want to use, start it. Okay, once you start, you can see that it is started on. Just double click over here and you will get the console. Again, you can see Linux is booting up. Okay, same thing what we were doing on the Windows, we can do on the Linux also. So it's not the theoretical class only. What the purpose to tell you guys, it's not the theoretical class, but we will be talking about lot of things over here. So just let me start. Probably if I will give you, glimpse like how it to be used into our environment. Let me just stop this. So Windows PC is on, connectivity switch on, internet gateway is on, maybe one of the router device. Let me check. Have I configured something over there? Okay. It is 150.113. So if I will go to the PC and 150.1.1.3, if I will take telnet, purposely I am going to the telnet first. Okay, later on I will be going to the Cisco SSH as well, but just for the few classes we will be learning about the telnet also. Okay, I can take, so my connectivity is through. At least for the internet connectivity, my PC will be going like this. Okay, and here I am using the net. Again, as I am telling you, these things will be covered into the class. Okay, this is the introductory session only. Okay, so soon we will be then when starting the classes, then you will able to understand that, okay, how to bring up this lab. Okay. If I will see, does I have the internet connectivity? I am just checking maybe anything. F5 trial keys probably. Okay, you can see I have the internet connectivity. I required the internet, reason being I need to download the Python from the internet only, and later on when we need to upgrade our pip, what is pip, maybe we will come to that, don't worry. Okay, this is something of program managers of the Python. When we need to upgrade it, or maybe we need to download some of the libraries, we should have the internet connectivity. So all of those things I would be telling you from the scratch how to use. Don't worry, that we will be going to do. So far, any questions?
No.
All good? Yeah. Okay. So you can run the if you are writing down a script, same script, either you are running on the Windows or over the Linux, doesn't bothered. Okay, you can have the same file either into the Windows file, either into the Linux directory, doesn't hampered, doesn't need to change anything. You can make such kind of settings. When you have the code ready, when you have the program ready, you can use anywhere. Okay, platform independent. Secondly, if this is your PC, again, there is some kind of connectivity. I am not going through maybe the switch or something like that. And there is a connectivity with your F5 device. Or maybe I will say the Cisco device. Or maybe I will say the ASA, because you guys are working on ASA. Or maybe Palo Alto. Okay, Palo. Or maybe I will talk about vManage. That's the one thing, right? So if you have such a connectivity, okay, I'm just saying that it is a LAN. If you have the connectivity through and you are writing down a script in Python especially, you need not to install, very important concept, you need not to install anything onto vendor side, need not to install anything on the vendor side. Vendor side, there is no requirement. Only you are running the Python script. Your Python script is its duty now. Just go through the your physical wires, but obvious, and it will go and take the device console. maybe through the telnet. Again, I am aware that telnet is the obsolete thing. Nobody is using telnet, but I would be using telnet into the Python. Reason being, you will able to learn Python programming from that. Purpose is not telling you about the telnetting. Purpose is to make you aware about the Python codes. So we would be gonna do some of the things over the telnet as well. Then we would be gonna go for the SSH. Then we will check some of the APIs. In the APIs, probably I will talk about some of the REST API. I will be talked about some of the what was that? Give me a minute. REST API. Okay, I forgot. I took that name before some time, but it's really I am not able to recognize. Okay, it's all right. I will talk about those. So what is REST API? Generally, everyone is talking about the API, and API is the REST API only. REST API is nothing when you are talking with your device over the HTML thing. Okay. If your device is having the HTML kind of consoles available, and then you can have the REST APIs. Even if you saw that when, I don't know who from you is aware about the vManage things. Okay. I know about the 3 people who are from the CCIE batch that, okay, they are aware about the vManage is the SD-WAN controller. Okay. SD-WAN controller. Again, when vManage is telnetting, okay, to any of the device, either it is vEdge or maybe cEdge, how it is using it? Either on the REST conf or the net conf. So REST conf over here, net conf over here, net conf. And these API calls are using your HTML thing only. And there is something known as API docs. Okay, probably I forgot to talk about. If you will, maybe Shashank, Raj, Narcis, if you will use your IP address of your vManage and just use the / and use the API docs, you will be have all of the API calls. You can see over there that, okay, what are the API calls, how they are configuring API calls over there. Okay, very easy. Just change the URI API docs, and you will see all of the documents relating to your APIs. And that is how all of the vendors are now moving towards the automation. Even we people are not aware, but the SD-WAN, SDN, I will say, probably not SD-WAN. I will talk about SDN. SDN is changed the culture totally. Software defined network. Okay, if I will talk about with respect to the Cisco, this particular terminology is now coming to each and every vendor. But if I will talk with respect to the Cisco, in the LAN side, SD access, in the WAN side, SD WAN, in the data center, maybe Epic or ACI, I will say. Okay, so these things are introducing more and more automation into your environment. Okay, so sooner or later we need to learn about Python. Everyone, that is must, that everyone need to be have. It's I will say it would be the requirement, it would be the prerequisite coming soon. So better if we learn on the time. Okay, then I will say Python is high level. Please try to understand now what does high level means. High level, if I will write down my scale, this is for my machine, I will say. This is, I will say, towards the human. Machine used to understand binary in the form of 0, 1 bit like that only. Okay, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, only those things. Very close to the binary language, very close. But binary language, we people are not able to understand how we will be running the code into 1001 1001, right? So very hard. So we cannot go over there, right? So this is binary machine language. Lot of language comes over there towards the machine side. Very hard for the human, very easy for the machine, very fast for the machine to understand, because it is much closer to your binary. Then if I will talk about, because you guys are aware about F5, you used to write down IRule, yeah, TCL, somewhere maybe closer to the human and closer to the machine also. Okay, like there, I will say 40% towards your human, 60% to your machine. Then I would be gonna talk about Python. Python is even much easier than your IRule also. High level language. Understand this? So Python is your high level language, means much closer to the, or I will say highly readable for the humans. For humans, we able to understand it much easier. Then I'm just taking the internet term. Python is high level. Then interpreter. Now, what does interpreter means? As I am telling you, if it is closer to the human, it need to be changed to the binary eventually, right? Ultimately, everything will be 1-0. Who is gonna change that? The thing who is changing it can be interpreter or compiler. Maybe let me give you an example on this. You people are residing in different countries, okay? And probably let us say someone is knowing the Spanish. I only know the Hindi. If I need to deliver my class in Hindi, I cannot deliver to the Spanish people, right? They will not able to understand it. So let us say there is one more guy who is common in between us, and this guy is knowing about the English. So I am speaking in the Hindi, he is converting in the Spanish, maybe. Okay, let us not go like that. He is aware about both of the languages. Okay, I am delivering into Hindi and he is converting into the Spanish. So this guy is just changing the language from here to there, whatever those people's native language is. Similarly, interpreter and compilers are those things which are changing human readable codes into the binaries 1001. Eventually all of the things are 10 and 01. Okay, and Python is interpreter language. There is a small difference in between the compiler and the interpreter. So if I will speak about that difference, probably very small difference. And the difference is, if you have, let us say, some line of codes, probably let us take 100 line of codes. Okay, and when you are writing the code, there could be some bugs, maybe some syntax error, maybe some different kind of errors can occur into your program. Let us say at the line number 70 there is an error. What compiler does is, compiler will execute all of this code first, and if there is error, it will say there is an error, just change your program first and then compile it again. So compiler is doing the compilation in one go for whole of the program. If there is some error occurs, it will compile the program again from the starting. Whereas interpreter, what it does is, it will execute all of the command till 70, and if it is occurring at the 71st, it will throw the error over here. And next time when you need to run the program, you need not to run the previous program again. You need to run it through the 71 line only. So that is some way. Maybe if you have, I am just talking about 100 lines here. but your code can be much bigger, not for maybe our purpose, because we are, we are just learning about the programming with respect to the automation of our some devices. But when I am going for the software development, maybe, in those ways, there can be 20k lines, there can be 50k lines, but maybe much lines of the codes are there. Imagine how much resource will be get used in your compilation when it need to be done from the scratch. Okay, so this is high level. Again, I am coming to the point. This is high level, and high level is user friendly. There can be scripting language, there can be markup language, there can be programming language like C, C#, Java, JavaScript, JS, YAML, XAML. Lot of languages are there. High level, closer to your human, user friendly, right? Then interpreter, as I told you, interpreter means scan the code line by line. And if there is error, some kind of error occurs at one point, it will not execute it from the starting. It will do from there only. Okay. Then after this, it is known as object oriented. I'm just picking, internet language. If you will search over the internet, they will just say Python is high level interpreter, objective, interactive language, bit like that they will use. So I am just explaining about the very common terminology so that you people able to understand. Object oriented. So in Python, there is focus on the objects. What are the objects? Probably we would be starting into our classes. Currently it is, again, as I am telling you, it is just an introductory session. I am just talking about the Python, what the Python is, what you can do with the Python, bit like that I am explaining, right? So when I am saying objects, it is more focused towards the objects. Python support the object oriented style or the techniques of the programming that encapsulate the codes within the objects. So it is bit towards your objects, objective oriented. And then in the last, you will see interactive language, interactive scripting language. Okay, interactive scripting language. Interactive means what? As I was telling you, closer to the human, even use the syntax bit like your English keywords. Let me tell you. Let me maybe show you. Let me just open a. What is this? Probably I will be gonna talk about later on. Don't worry. What is this Visual Studio Code? But let me just show you. For and in range 101, maybe starting from 1 to 101. Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay, print switch port, no, switch port access VLAN and okay. So I just write down 2 lines of code, sir. I just write down 2 lines of code, and if you are aware about the syntax, which you will be in some time, if I'm running it, can you see in the 2 lines of the codes, I just issued a command that, okay, it should be having the VLAN from 1 to the 100. And if you see this code is much closer to your English language. Like for, we are talking about the for loop here. Again, I will be going to talk about the for loop. Print, again, a function. What kind of the function is, what is the function is, maybe we will be going to talk about all of this term later on, don't worry. But using Python, It is very easy when we write down the codes to understand that, okay, using the codes, I can maybe, tweak the settings with respect to our networking field, and we can achieve those tasks in very quick way, probably in 10 line of codes, 15 line of codes, bit like that. Again, all of the punctuation, if you are using all of the things you are using, that would be more and more closer to your English language only. So far, any doubt, guys? Anything? So much silence. Yes, no?
No, it's fine.
No, sir. It's fine. Yes, sir.
It's fine? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, fine, that's fine.
So let me just give you a glimpse maybe. I am picking a library from, that is my best part. I used to show to the candidates always. Like if I'm going to the internet and I am finding out that telnet library Python, you can see there is a search telnet library Python. I click over there, go the down to the bottom. Please do not just more think about what is this import, what is these kind of things. We will be gonna talk about that later on. Okay, even you can write down your program in the notepad. Okay, but it's not good, it's not a good practice to use it into the notepad. Why? Maybe later on I will be gonna talk about that. So if you see, let me make a little bit bigger. If you see, I can see that I'm importing something. Okay, what is this import? Maybe I will be talking about later on. In the host, I am just giving some value. Here, I am changing the value and I am putting the IP address of the device. Remember the router which I made up from my, my lab. So let me check what was the IP. Even I forgot.
150.113.
150.113.
Yeah, 3.
I think it is brief. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Shasha. 150.113. So what I can do is I'm just writing down, okay, the local host is 150.113. 150.113. Okay. Then I am taking some input from the client. Okay, what are these input function? Again, we will be gonna talk about later on. I can say enter your username. Probably this particular wording I don't like, username. And then I'm using some more functions, but again, it's not a correct time to explain about that, because I will be gonna talk about all of these things later on. Then here, if I will see, when I am logging into 150.113, 150 through the telnet, open, the very first command is it prompt for the username, right? Username is Cisco, then password is also Cisco, and I am into the router. So it is saying read till login. No, it should not be the login. It should be till username. Till username is coming, then if password is coming, I am putting the password, and then I need to write down something. What should be that something? Maybe when I am logging in, I am logging into this level. I need to go to the config T. Wait. Okay, first let me check. Show IP interface brief. I don't have any loopback. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the config. Okay. Then Control C, what happened? Control C, Control V. What happened? Okay, let me write down tn dot write. What is this? B is the byte string. Again, we will come to that later on. Interface loopback 100. Okay, I'm creating a loopback 100. If I will talk about this /n, please do not confuse again for the /n also. Here I use this. Okay. tn dot write byte string description is using Python Python. What is today? 12th of Feb. 12th Feb. Then /n. Okay. /n and tn. Maybe let it be. Okay. tn dot write byte string. I need to get out of the device. Okay. And exit. Let me just execute this code. First of all, from the notepad, I am saving it over the desktop and I'm using all the files. I can see that there are nothing, no file exists currently. Let me check by, let me go down. Is there any file? No file currently. I'm using a file name 12th Fab and Python has the extension py. I am using .py extension. Okay. Again, notepad is not a very good idea. I will be come to that. What to use? What is this? This is something PyCharm ID. Again, I will be coming to that later on. But if I will go to the command prompt, under the command prompt, I need to go to the CD desktop probably. Okay, dir. I have the 12th. Okay, I have that 12th Python and then 12th fab.py. If I will click on enter, can you see it is prompting for enter your username? If I will open it with notepad again. Or maybe my WordPad, if you will see this command, it is saying that, okay, enter your username. This thing, it is coming to you. Enter your username. Okay, my username is Cisco. Password, my password is also Cisco. When I enter username and password, can you see it execute some of the commands? Interface loopback 100, description is this, and exit. So Python does it. If I will see again, okay, show IP interface brief. I have the loopback now. Show interface description. If I will see, you can see even the description is also showing you that it is configured by Python 12th of Feb. Any doubt, guys?
No.
No.
So that is how
No.
we can utilize Python for our purpose when we need to configure our things related to the networking. And we will be gonna learn from the this is very basic, program. We will be gonna check about the capabilities of the devices, either it is a router, either it is a switch. When we need to do a lot of things, believe me, it would be a fun, but only when you will be doing, all of the things along with me. In first of the sessions, you will feel like very easy. But sooner or later, your programs will be much advanced and you will not be able to get it if you are not understanding it properly. So it should be like that whenever we are doing some of the exercise, please do that, repeat that into your home, because Python lab can be created in the home without any single penny to be, spent. So free to use, free to, I will say, install, and all of those things you need to be taken care. Okay. Any other doubt, any other question? Otherwise, we are good to wrap up for today. Okay, I will not be going to extend more about the today's class. So that was a quick introductory session. And probably from tomorrow, we would be starting our first class and we will be jumping into the Python course. Any questions?
You mentioned that you will be providing a lab, right? So do you have any virtual environment which we can use it, or how? So, I mean, we need to repeat the setup, whatever you explained. So we need to set up in our home and we need to do that.
You will get the same lab.
The same lab. So, okay. So you'll be, okay.
How you will get that? That Joya will let you know. Once maybe you are, the whole of the fee thing and all of the things are settled down, probably you will get it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Everything will be getting recorded. Even from today's session, you will get all of the recordings, okay, over the portal, which you can access through the Android or maybe through the Apple app also. And you can just check through the web portal, of course. So if you have any doubt, go through the recording also. Any other question?
No.
Okay, gents, then nice to meet you again. Okay, let me just,